Jealousy is that complicated tangle of emotions that virtually everyone has felt, lurking in the dark corners of the romantic relationships, leaving you feeling uneasy, restless, and sometimes, unfortunately, also a little bit irrational. Now, if this sounds like you, know that you are not alone. And there's absolutely no judgment here. This is something that everybody goes through. In fact, there's something oddly universal about the uncomfortable feeling. I can still vividly remember that feeling in my chest, as if something was quite literally squeezing my heart, the actual hard muscle when I felt it years ago. Even though I'm not really a jealous guy myself, which is even stranger. Actually, far from it. I'm the opposite of a jealous guy. Now, one intriguing aspect that captures so many is the retroactive jealousy, the mental loops and the intrusive thoughts about partners' past relationships or experiences. This form of jealousy has its own set of complexities and torments, but it's not just a problem, it's also an opportunity for you. And as perplexing as it may sound, tackling retroactive jealousy can actually be your gateway to dealing with the more general persuasive feelings of jealousy. So what do we do first? Well, we could start with self-awareness, because that's crucial. Self-awareness is super important. The moment jealousy kicks in, it's all too easy to let your thoughts spiral out of control. But that's when you need to pause and actually examine what is going on. What triggered those feelings in you? Often, these triggers actually point to much deeper insecurities, unfortunately, or unresolved issues within yourself. Understanding these triggers doesn't just help with retroactive jealousy, it also aids in a way in managing any form of jealousy that you may experience. This is what therapists would call insight, and it's the first significant step forward towards any change. When the green-eyed monster appears next time, instead of sinking into those feelings, try to observe them, almost as if you're standing outside looking at yourself. Think. And I know that this is easier said than done, especially in the moment, but honestly, I'm speaking here from personal experience. And if you think about it, most of the time people don't explode into some outwardly expressed emotions at first sign of jealousy. Most of the time people contain it, bottle it deep within, and let it simmer and fuel their anger and rage and resentment. So yeah, you all have the time to pause and think, why the fuck is this affecting me so deeply? Once you understand the why, you're better equipped to address the how of dealing with it. Secondly, let's talk about mindfulness. You probably heard this term thrown around a lot, especially on YouTube. But when it comes to jealousy, being mindful could actually make a huge difference. Mindfulness teaches you to be present, focusing on the here and now. Retroactive jealousy tempts you to dwell on a past that's gone or a future that is still uncertain. Nobody knows the future. Being mindful will help you say something like, this is what I have right now, and it's pretty good. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, but right now. Take deep breaths when jealousy pangs hit, focus on your senses, and ground yourself. Now, this may seem very rudimentary, but you'd be actually surprised how effective this simple technique can actually be. Now, another approach comes from the field of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, a common therapeutic method for treating emotional difficulties like anxiety and, yes, also jealousy. Now, the technique here is cognitive restructuring, or learning to challenge and change your thought patterns, the way you are thinking. When you find yourself plagued by jealousy, ask, is this thought rational? What's the evidence for it? More often than not, you'll realize that jealousy magnifies perceived threats while minimizing the positives and realities or realities of your own relationship. Then replace those irrational thoughts with balanced factual ones. For example, if you find yourself thinking, my partner's past relationship was better than ours, challenge these thoughts with something like, I have no evidence to support this, and my partner is with me right now for a certain reason. Effective communication with your partner can also be incredibly healing. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It's not just about asking for reassurance, but engaging in open dialogue about your own feelings, fears, and needs. Make it a point to express yourself clearly and listen to your partner's perspective as well. These conversations can be touchy, but they're essential to any relationship. They provide an opportunity to address the underlying issues that contribute to jealousy and can often provide actually the reassurance that you subconsciously seek. The challenge and the opportunity in dealing with any form of jealousy is to use it as a mirror of sorts. This emotion reflects parts of you that are insecure and scared. Yes, but also part of you that deeply cares about your relationship. A touch of jealousy can sometimes even reignite passion and commitment in a relationship. However, it becomes problematic when it starts controlling you rather than the other way around, you controlling jealousy. Your aim then is to arrive at a state where you can observe your jealousy, understand it, and then let it go without letting it actually erode foundations of trust or love in your relationship.